I'm right on the edge of the mud here, and I'm asking these people, does this make any sense? What they're doing here with the mud here? You have the equipment, you not have the know-how, and look what they're doing here. They're fencing this all in here. You see a beautiful fence all along, but in the background, the people that's supposed to be taking the debris away, they're raking the dead people under the debris. Now, how they know that dead people ain't in them? They rake that there. You could have dead people inside there. You could have anything in that debris. They just pushed it on the side there, put the tag down there. Somebody has owned, somebody now owned this. But they put the stuff on the side there. Who is to say that there's no body in that debris? And why did they move the debris from here and push it over there when they have the equipment in order to move it? I keep seeing them try to be quiet, but I have to live in this mess. And when they go with the heavy equipment, this thing stays here forever. And I also noticed something else, that there's some homes inside here. I don't know how they decide what is what, but there's some houses right there. You can see a house there that they push stuff up against that house. So if it's not their property, how could they push stuff onto somebody else's property? If the government is claiming this is their property, how can they push things right up into and onto other people's property? And who is supposed to move this debris from here? All this here is debris here. Tell me, who's supposed to move that? It's nonsensical, and the thing is that the Minister of Works was down here. Desmond saw it. He said nothing. The workers, I talked to them, they said, well, that makes sense. But the people that are in charge, they're not saying anything. So they just leave it there. So this is going to be here. And the minister talking about somebody going to buy this property and make it into a city. How are you going to get to this stuff if, in fact, they have the fence against it? Something else that they don't recognize. Why you got houses all along there? I guess that's not the mud that somebody else owned. They decide what is the mud from what is the piece. So you got about 10 houses all along there. So how are these people that now own them houses, because the government says it's not theirs, and they pile all these things roof high onto their property? How are they going to get to their property, and how are they going to clean it without the heavy equipment? That is wrong. That is unacceptable. Full speed ahead. And this is what I said earlier. Look at this open space. You could see a mosquito coming through here. So if the place is open, why not have the Defense Force base in the middle of this while they're on the waterfront doing all kind of illegal things to the Abaconians, feel them up, acting like they're gay and grinning like a bunch of gays? They could be in the middle. Put Defense Force in tent. That's what we paying them for. That's what we train them for hard times, hardship. Not on the waterfront by the Yamaha place, catching fish, catching good breeze. Come in the middle of this. They haven't been through a hurricane. They're putting us through a hurricane by what they're been doing, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. I'm hoarse because speaking to people that ought to know better. Why is the Defense Force on the waterfront? Why is the government spending millions, and a total of $7 million, to keep the Haitians out? What is their plans for this? Why can't we have our military in the middle of that? That would have freed up $7 million. If you have the military here, then that money could have gone into the rebuilding of the communities in the tone of $7 million. We didn't need to fence it in and do all this stuff. But this is the people's time. Where is Darren Enfield and James Albury in this fiasco. What are they saying? Did they come in and check this James area? Did you come and say, excuse me, why are you pushing this stuff all along the perimeter? Who is going to come and move it? And when they're moving it, isn't they going to destroy the mud? The fence. The fence will be compromised if a machine comes to move that. This is the time for somebody to move it. No leadership, Ministry of Works, and all them. I don't understand it. I see these things and they don't see it. This need to be cleaned up thoroughly. Who is to say that there's no dead body there? They didn't look through this stuff. They just pushed it. They just pushed it out there. Dead people could be right in there. Somebody mother, somebody brother, somebody child could be right in that debris because they didn't go through it. They just pushed it on the side as a graveyard. Somebody in authority need to make them move it and move it forthwith and go through it to see whose human body they're piling on the side there with the rubbish, as if the human beings in there are rubbish. This is one of these Kai Cares video. Somebody needs to sift through this thoroughly, remove it because it's already an eyesore, and move it completely away from those homes that you say it's not the government, not the mud. So how could you therefore block those homes up? You're here live in the mud on WCAY.